All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Happy CPI day. So we have just sold straight off, obviously, with CPI data. And as of right now, as you guys can see, I already have marked out. We do have some SMT that did form with these lows. You got March low that is still left intact on, obviously, NQ, which is a little bit lower yet. However, you have ES and YM as well, both having traded through these lows. So we do have an SMT divergence as far as that goes. The other interesting thing that I noticed is that we have this really clean liquidity pool on Dow Jones that was rated. So a little SMT there as well that formed with the CPI news data release. Delete some of this stuff. But I am feeling a little bit more bullish bias going into this morning session. I just don't want to jump in too early and then have price maybe make one more push lower here. So hopefully could avoid that if price is going to do that. But otherwise, I am looking for the idea of getting long. What is this? Expecting. Oh, I must have did this on like Sunday or Monday. Worked out though, huh? Take a mental screenshot of that. And then looking at DXY, we've got price just ripping right now, which obviously would correlate with the indices selling off. Kind of the general rule of thumb, the way that we trade these events is they're two-stage deliveries for the most part. So one move one way, and then looking to basically trade it back the other way. I would like to see some internal SMT here at the lows again. I know we have SMT on the higher time frame with these lows already, but I was hoping we could get some, one more SMT at the lows here with this 1 minute chart, potentially ES or NQ running out these lows one more time, or just something internally that was obvious. Only thing that we have really would be like using Dow Jones for that SMT, right? Because you got Dow Jones putting in a lower low right now. ES is not doing so, and you got NQ already kind of working higher here, but it's working into obviously a much higher time frame imbalance. So that's why I'm saying I don't want to be early, right? Because the other thing that could happen if we're trying to jump in longs right now would just be price respecting off of some of this structure here, pulling up into this imbalance, and then just making one more move higher, and then kind of having this first initial price of opening bell be a little bit of just a manipulation up. So I'm going to set up my hands for right now. I don't really see anything that I love. I know that I want to get long. I just don't love long opportunities right now. I mean, I'm not saying it can't, start respecting these bullish or these down close candles in this bullish order fair value gap right here, bullish order block. It could do that. I mean, it could do whatever it wants, but I feel like I haven't seen enough yet to justify jumping in anything yet. So for those reasons, folks, we're going to just take it nice and easy here. First day back for the week. Literally haven't traded at all this week. If anything, we got a little bit of SMT that formed with these internal highs here. So this would be a bearish SMT. If you guys can see that. Swing high here on ES. Bada bing. Versus right here. See what it wants to do with that, but the low-hanging fruit would still be just taking it back to equilibrium, right? And where this would add a degree of difficulty is going to be if price were to get to equilibrium before we were even looking for longs. Because, if price were to just have kept moving higher here, now it's finally pulling back, which I'm happy about. If price were to just keep moving higher here, if you were in position, by the time it gets to equilibrium, well, now you're thinking, damn, if price sells off or pulls back, that could just be a continuation to keep going lower, because we know that there is still reason for price to go lower, right, in terms of liquidity pools. So that's where it can get a little challenging when you get those two conflicting PD arrays working against one another. This would really be all I would be hoping for a target, to be honest. I mean, I'm not saying you couldn't leave a runner to here. I think if you have the ability to partial and do that, that'd be not a bad idea at all. But this is really the first target I'd want to shoot for is equilibrium of the range. So Does create a situation where we could potentially look to play the inverse of this gap. However, I think this would be kind of a steep SL. Not too bad. But that would be, I'd be viewing this then as that manipulation. All right, moment of truth. I do believe I will attempt a long here if we can inverse this gap and get a decent fill. Stop. I guess for the moment, just kind of on the other side of the gap. I don't want to put my stop all the way down here. I don't want to have a 40-point stop. So I'll just put it on the other side of the gap. All right, guys, I'm gonna hop in long right now for one. I'm gonna go stop below the gap, stop below the previous 1 minute candle, I guess. Just I don't want a fucking huge stop loss. But I would say, yeah, I mean 90% of the time, don't check my math on that, but yeah, it's very often that it does the two-stage delivery event. It trades back towards the opposing data, highs or lows, depending on where price went for the actual news release. So, you know, I'm not gonna try to reinvent the wheel. But yeah, taking an attempt here off the inverse gap. We'll see. It's possible that my stop could end up being too tight, but I'm gonna settle with this risk for now. I'm only gonna remove risk if this high is taken, only if we form SMT with it. Is what I'm thinking. But it's not looking like we will, which is nice. I do kind of want to keep my trade open, just because this will become a breaker as well, right? We were talking about this being a 1 minute bearish breaker. This will become a 1 minute bullish breaker. So I'm going to leave my trade on for that. Just in case price does want to wick down in here, fuck around and find out. That's what I'm thinking. But yeah, we ran the high here, so no SMT there. So okay, I'm chilling. ICT is live, marked out the same fair value gap. God damn it. Dude, we need to be using his stream as like the anti-signal service. Whatever he's marking out, don't do it. All right, well, we're back at entry here. So stop was for the moment seemingly in the right spot. Brace for impact. Brace for impact. Head down. Hands forward. Brace. Brace. We're about to hit a mountain. Do you think you guys would rather be on a sinking ship in the middle of the ocean? Or do you think you'd rather be on a plane that is like crashing? Yeah, a couple ways you can look at it. I do like, the thing is, I wish I knew if I was going to die or not with the ship sinking. Because if I am going to die, that's obviously probably going to be a slower, more painful, miserable death. So in which case, I'll just take the airplane. However, you got a chance you could be saved if it's, you know what I'm saying? Ship sinks. But then again, if you're like Titanic situation, the water's freezing cold, just kill me. Like, I'm stealing the security guard's gun and I'm getting it over with myself. F that, dude. Well, guys, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. This has ended up being a little bit of an uncomfortable trade. It was very nice right away, right straight profit. I thought we were just gonna get one clean move here to start things off. Turned into quite the uncomfortable hold here. Basically hit almost all of our drawdown on our stop. Didn't hit our stop loss. So, you know, a win is a win. A win is a win. All right. Little SMT forming here now. I don't like that. I'm not too big of a fan of. Little SMT there. Oh no. I'm torn between closing and holding. I'm torn between removing risk and holding. I think I'm gonna make the executive decision of keeping my trade on and just understanding that if I lose, it's gonna be because of this. Listen, you know, ICT says
you're going to do it wrong. You're going to have transactions that don't pan out, that are profitable. And it doesn't mean you can't trade. It doesn't mean that your system's flawed. It doesn't mean that you won't eventually become long-term consistent. It just means that individual decision didn't pan out for you, and that's okay. That's one of the main takeaways I want you to understand.
And that's okay. Just that one decision. Right now, my one decision is I'm not ignoring the SMT. I'm just choosing to keep my risk on, and it might result in an L. But the other thing that's kind of continuously weighing on my mind as well is the fact that the SMT on the higher time frame externally is at the lows, right? So you got to think in terms of probabilities, which one should hold more weight, right? The external SMT at the higher time frame lows, or the internal 1 minute SMT at the highs? What should hold more weight? Doesn't mean it will. But if I got 17 or 18 and the dealer's showing a bust card, whether you win or lose doesn't matter. You gotta stay. You can't hit it. You gotta stay. And you might still lose, but you definitely put the odds in your favor, and that's all you can do. At the end of the day, that's all trading really is, ain't it? Calculated gambling. As I guess pretty much everything in life is. The whole boat and plane analogy is kind of taking on a life of its own with this trade. If you're going to get stopped out. You want it to kind of happen quickly, don't you? You don't want to sit. Nobody wants to sit in this. It's like sitting next to a guy in the hot tub and he pisses his pants. You're just sitting in it. Same energy. But for the record, there's two types of people. People that pee in pools and people that lie about it. You ain't cool unless you pee your pants. If peeing your pants is cool, consider me Miles Davis. Oh, that's the most disgusting thing I've ever heard in my life. Let's go. I'm going to be a happy camper if this thing can just get through these highs and displace. By the way, DXY took out the high. It did? What do you mean? Oh, okay, I see. It did take out that high. Good eye, Alex. Good eye. Okay. All right. Let's not get distracted here. Let's see what's going on. We took out this high again. So, because I didn't get stopped out, turns out this was a decent decision so far. But we took out this high again. Or no, we put in equal highs. Hell yeah. All right. Well, generating more buy-side liquidity. Let's keep this train rolling, boys. Let's go, boys and girls. Boys and girls and non-binaries. Man. I also don't like that we put equal lows here, though. Just saying. But it has been a slow-moving opening range in so far beginning of Silver Bullet Hour as well. Jesus Christ. I wish I could tell you guys I'm not a little nervous about this trade, because I am. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why, because it does, as more time goes on, we print, yes, liquidity. We're putting liquidity on both sides. We're in a range. So when you're in a range, that's what you're doing. You're putting liquidity on both sides of the market. And you don't know which one it's going to go attack first. Here you got liquidity being built up down here on ES in terms of low resistance liquidity run. Obviously, NQ put in these lows. I guess same thing here. I'm not interested in shorts at all until we're back at equilibrium at least. Third time's the charm. And by third, I mean fourth. I'm out, guys. I'm going to close that at break even. Might regret that decision, but this is too much for me. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. And the other thing, you saw me probably drag my cursor over. I was just seeing what we did with this swing high here. We did have liquidity built up at it on ES, and then we just ran it and came back down. So, like I said, I might regret that decision, but bro, come on. I'm not trying to be in this trade and then to have it just take a loss. Like, we just keep doing this back and forth. Let's watch and see what happens. No attachment. It might go. It might not. I mean, whatever. Daddy no likey. Let me know if you guys are holding or if you closed it. I am out. But yeah, I don't like the way this looks. I don't like the way that this is making me feel in the way that's going back and forth like this. And I think I would have been a little bit more aggravated with taking a loss at this point had I just kept it on and then just, dump off, sell off, take all this out. Generating liquidity like this on both sides. I don't know how you trade this other than ping-ponging it back and forth. But if I avoid a loss here, I'll be happy about it. I'll be happy about it. This is just miserable, guys. Miserable. Oh, what is this? And hey, if that decision keeps me from hitting TP,
you're going to do it wrong. You're going to have transactions that don't pan out, that are profitable. And it doesn't mean you can't trade. It doesn't mean that your system's flawed. It doesn't mean that you won't eventually become long-term consistent. It just means that individual decision didn't pan out for you. And that's okay. That's one of the main takeaways I want you to understand.
He said it. So, but yeah, exact. Look at this. Generated all this liquidity, sell side, buy side. It's all now been wiped. We took out this side. Luckily for those of you guys that were holding, took a partial profit or whatever you did, or you just went risk-free. Either way, all ended the same. You know, you might have made something here. If not, bang, now we're back taking out this side. Classic. I mean, just this is like an Asia range right now. It's like sweep the high, sweep the low. You know, so enjoy your Wednesday, guys. I will talk to you guys later, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out, everybody.